So I'm Cllr Lyth. I'm the cabinet member for business and enterprise, economic development, learning and skills, culture, heritage, member development, and I'm also the council's director for the joint venture project with Cllr Housing. Well, one of the things that I found extremely frustrating was the fact that there are people in the city who don't have someone to support them, don't have someone to stand up for them, don't have that really sharp, come on, get on with it. And it is a lot different standing on the outside looking in than it is standing on the inside looking out. But I wanted to be part of that change and wanted to be part of helping the council shape up to the challenges of change and to get more real about what people are actually feeling and needing. So that's why I stood for council. If you're talking about a city with enterprise at its heart, we are. Feeding a family on 4 and 9pence is an incredibly enterprising business. You know, so we've got that capacity, we've got the creative gene, all those people who came to, all those fabulous creative people from the ceramics industries, for example. So it's there in embryo form, it's hidden. And to me, it's our capacity to dig down to grassroots and identify all the unconscious conditioners that frame behaviours and make people think that they're not worth it, that they're not valuable. They're the things we've got to change. Hearts and minds. The cultural shift is the biggest challenge, really. And that affects not just the community, that of course affects councillors, because typically councillors are recruited from the local population and would typically have a sort of fairly local approach. But my own view about councillors is you should really have to have a level of competence and commitment and contribution. I don't mean academic qualification, but I really do mean that there should be an issue here about why are you doing this? I don't think any person ever stands for council to keep things the same. They stand to make a difference, don't they? But we've got to work on the differences that we can agree on. We've got to see the same vision. We've got to be moving forward. And that requires, I think, a different mindset. It requires us to engage younger people, people from more diverse communities. And, you know, councillors don't walk on water. They really don't. And we have to get that message across. And we have to be real in our communities. And it isn't just about this parochialism. You know, I'm a councillor for Tunstall, and therefore my priority must be Tunstall, because that isn't how it is. We are city councillors, we have a civic responsibility. We have an area of our own to care about, but we have a responsibility to the whole city. And the more we see that, the more we get that cultural shift, you know, the more we'll move forward. So we set up the City First Conservative Independent Alliance. And then in 2007 elections, the mayor and the chief executive decided to form a cabinet, and so there are nine coalition members there, with the view that said city first, tough decisions to be made, things, building schools for the future, issues around closure of homes, issues around, do you know, that whole transitional shift is about city first, and it has been progressively more encouraging as time has gone on. As a cabinet, we've been strong. It's been hard, but we've been strong. But there is that view, certainly from our perspective, and hopefully we are working at that, but hopefully what will happen is more and more of our councillors, instead of being right out there, will start to come in and see that vision for the city. There's a lovely quotation, and I can't remember who wrote it, but it's something that I think of often, and it says, love does not consist of two people gazing into each other's eyes, but of two people looking forward in the same direction. And that's what I see as wanting. You know, it's one empire, we all build it. This is much too important. We've got 250,000+ people here that we can't nursemaid them and we can't breastfeed them. That's not our job. Our job is to be the custodians. Our job is to make sure that every opportunity is there for the people of our city, whoever they are. And that's something that we've all got to commit to. I think what's happened over recent years, perhaps over recent decades really, is an alienation from the democratic process. I think people have become disenchanted with politics. I think the average, if you look at our statistics, I think the turnout at the last election was 23%. People just aren't engaged with the political infrastructure. I think that's a problem. It's a problem for adults. The majority of the people who vote are 50 plus, 60 plus, people who've got that very traditional view and that commitment, that brought up in a different environment. We've got lots of young people who just, never voted, don't even see that that's part of their democratic right. I believe that we've got to drill down into communities, because we've got to be saying, come and have a view, come and represent your community, come and tell us how it really is, come and be involved. Having a representative is not the same as having 10,000 people in your ward all actively working. If every single person in this city did that much, the difference would be profound. As it is, we can't do that anymore. It's about us each taking that responsibility for shaping up to the challenge of change and delivering what we've got to do. And I'm absolutely positive about that way forward. That's how it's got to be. People are communities, individuals, but it's a two-sided coin, isn't it? You've got to take responsibility, but if you're going to take responsibility, you've got to have the authority to go with it. Otherwise, you've got something with nothing.